once again to the prayer chair. Today is Good Friday. The gospel is the passion of the Lord, according to John. What a beautiful, beautiful gospel. Every Good Friday we read John's gospel. And the beauty of John's gospel as compared to the others is Jesus is in absolute control from the very beginning. It's the book of glorification. It's the book of glory. It begins with chapter 13. And chapter 13 is the Last Supper. The 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 are all the Last Supper, where Jesus is talking to his disciples, expressing his incredible love for them, expressing his incredible love for us. There's something really beautiful about it, the way John sets it up. Because if you remember back in the marriage feast of Cana, it's in chapter 2 of John's gospel, where at the wedding feast they ran out of wine. And Mary comes up to him and says, they have no wine. And Jesus says, well, what's that to me? My hour has not come. Skip now to chapter 13, the beginning of glorification. John makes it very, very clear. He says, Jesus, knowing that his hour has come, joined together with his disciples. So his hour has become, it's the hour of glorification. It's the hour of his incredible love for us, expressing that love in a final act. No greater love can a person have than to lay down one's life for your friends. And Jesus goes on, and it's chapter 15. I haven't done this yet, but let me jump right into, make sure I get it right, okay? He says, as the Father loves me, so I also love you. Remain in my love. If you keep my commandments, you will remain in my love, just as I have kept my Father's commandments and remain in his love. I told you this so that my joy may be in you. Now he's saying this right before he's going to be hung on a cross. That my joy might be in you. Your joy may be complete. This is my commandment. Love one another as I have loved you. Whoa, there's a tough one. We're challenged to love as Jesus Christ himself loved, to lay down his life for one another. No one is greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friends. You are my friends if you do what I command you. What that is a command is to love one another. I no longer call you slaves, because a slave does not know what his master is doing. I have called you friends, because I have told you everything that the Father has told me. John invites us into this journey of love. Love for one another, love for our God. Little Franciscan priest one time, and I think I used this example once in a homily, little Franciscan priest who said that, hey guys, Christianity is not a spectator sport. We don't just sit around and watch it happen. We need to be involved in it. And he said we have to follow Jesus. And what that means is we need to walk in the very footsteps of Jesus Christ. What were the footsteps of Jesus Christ? To love, to return to the Father, to express this message of God's great love for us and return to the Father. John's Gospel, the beauty of John's Gospel, when the Passion narrative begins, and it's got the same kinds of structure that the others do, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. There's the garden, there's the trial before the Sanhedrin, there's the denial of Peter, there's a trial before Pilate, there is the crucifixion, there is the burial. All got the same kind of structure. But in John's Gospel, Jesus stays in absolute control of the entire situation. And there's no agony in the garden in John's Gospel. They go to the garden. Judas appears. And he had told them, the one I kissed, he's the one. And they said to him, are you the one? And he said, I am. Beauty in John's Gospel. They turn around, they fall down on the ground. And Jesus says, are you looking for me? I am he. And if I'm the one you're after, let these other ones go. And good old Peter, God bless Peter. Peter takes out a sword and he cuts the servant of the high priest's ear. Now, do you really think for 1 second that Peter was trying to just cut his ear? Give me a break. He's trying to rip his head off with the sword. But being not exactly a great swordsman, he even fails at that, and he nicks his ear. Jesus is taken away. He goes before the Sanhedrin. Peter denies him. Then he has the great trial with Pilate. You know, in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Jesus is almost a victim. Others are in control of him. In John's gospel, Jesus is in absolute control of the whole situation. This is the book of glory. This is the book of incredible love. It's in this that Jesus Christ is in control. He's in the trial before Pilate. It's almost like Jesus never shuts up. In the other gospels, he's very silent, doesn't say a thing. In John, he keeps talking. And Pilate 7 times goes back and forth trying to set Jesus free. That great number 7, that number of fulfillment. In John's gospel, it's the only one of the 4 gospels in the Passion narrative where it says Jesus took up his cross. Jesus grabbed hold of his cross. Sitting next to me is this wonderful, wonderful statue that was given to me. And when it was first given to me, the cross here, it doesn't quite fit into his hands. And that always bothered me. Until one day I was looking at it and I said, you know, it's Jesus reaching for his cross. And his hands are in such a position, it's as if he's hugging. He's reaching out to embrace with a hug the absolute act of love as he reaches out to us. It's we who need to take up our cross to follow Jesus Christ. Finally, on Calvary, when it's all over, Jesus is in command to the very end. And finally he says, it is finished. And then he dies. He returns to the Father. Does it mean it's all over? No, because we're going to move right into resurrection. We're going to be moving right into new life. We're going to be moving right into the beautiful acts of faith of that early Christian community. But this section of his glory, his returning to the Father, his gift of love, that's what's finished. Jesus embraced his cross. Jesus let go of all those other kinds of things. It is finished. He let go of this life so he could return to the Father. The challenge to us is, are we going to carry baggage around? Are we going to let it go so we can grasp, carry the cross of Jesus? You know, in the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and you know I'm a recovering alcoholic, and this is from the book Alcoholics Anonymous. If I can find the right page here, I know it's page 63. Yeah, there it is. The third step says, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God. And to do that, for an alcoholic to get sober, that's what you got to do, man. You know, you don't hold on to stuff. Oh, yeah, I can do it. No, that's not what it's about. It's turning it over to God so that God can carry you in all of this. It's only when we let go that we allow God to carry it. There's a prayer that recovering alcoholics are said to say. If you're going to really live this program, you do what it says in the book. And this is just a brief prayer that's here. It says, now we're at step 3. Many of us said to our Maker, God, I offer myself to you to build with me and to do with me as you will. Relieve me of the bondage of self, that I may better do your will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help with your power, your love, your way of life. May I do your will always. For an alcoholic, you want to get sober, you turn your will and your life over to the care of God. You give it to God, say, hey God, here it is, but you got to help me. And Jesus Christ says, are you ready to follow me? That's the challenge of Good Friday. Yes, it's Good Friday, for it speaks of the incredible love that our God has for us. Are we going to let go? We're going to follow Jesus Christ. I suggest to you in this day, at some point, pause, reflect on the incredible love our God has for us. No longer are we servants. We're friends. He laid down his life for us. Now do we have the courage to embrace the cross as Jesus Christ embraced that cross? To do that, man, you got to go from clenched fist to open hands. At some point today, we're also going to be doing the Stations of the Cross. You know, we're going to follow along. The version we'll be doing is, I kind of like this version. It's called Mary, the Mother of Jesus. Okay? This was done by Richard Fury. And it's the way of the cross from Mary's point of view, from his mother's point of view. Good Friday, we celebrate God's love. We celebrate his love for us, our love for one another. And may Almighty God bless you, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Go and announce the gospel of the Lord.
As all was meant to be, you shall see me lifted up upon a tree.